I didn't turn on the scary music. Oh, I didn't turn on the scary music. Oh, back to one, everybody. Back to one. Scary. Oh, jeez, it's loud.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Well, start over.
Welcome
You ruined
back to Nat19. First try.
For this spooky
Oh shit, it's
episode.
playing both. That's why. Fuck. Okay, that's why. It was alright. Alright, hold on. I gotta change it. Use the same media player. Thanks. Okay, good. Alright, take back to one.
I hate sand.
Why did that work?
I agree. I hate sand. Kring.
Oh my god.
Alright. Alright, everybody. Welcome back to Nat19, Vestige of Ophiuchus, Campaign 1, although I should really stop saying that, Session 108. We're here with all the boys. Boys, say hello!
Hello there!
I'm a boy.
Somewhere in all that noise, there was a hello.
I think so.
Oh, goodness.
Can you hear?
Yeah,
this
ow.
dog?
I have 10 hit points.
Ooh.
Oh my
Lucky.
god.
You have
In general,
7. You have
I'm
7
fine.
hit points. You can have 10 hit points.
I have 7 hit points.
There you go.
Your max fees out, turn around. It was your max.
25.
You have as much as our lovely boy Euphony.
Oh no! Oh no! I talk about the reactive images. I talk to Game about you guys doing stuff. I'm still the hate in the head one. I did. I was too concerned with everyone else that I couldn't see my own hubris.
Everybody point and laugh.
No! Don't point and laugh. I can't take it.
Don't change it. Just scoot. Yeah, I'm gonna say just scoot him up.
yourself on my head.
No, because
Yeah.
but it's not gonna fit properly.
No, just scoot up
Been
on
there.
like Fenris's boobs or something.
Yeah,
Like,
put on
whatever.
Fenris.
Ooh, that's a good
I
one.
did just
Yeah.
where should it even go? Like
Just
On
be
the
on my
Fenris's
head.
boobs.
It's a perfect fit.
Little booba
Yeah.
Logan.
Oh.
does that
I'm
work?
not looking because we're.
decide.
Does that work?
That fits hilariously well.
I'm not
I love
looking
that.
at chat because we're not supposed to.
It's
but
true,
I'm
you're not
sure
supposed
it's
to.
very cute.
I realized
No,
I
just
still had the
see-
window open.
just
I
see
hadn't
Booba
closed it
Logan.
yet.
No, I went to go look as soon as Logan was like, my reactive image. I needed to know.
I
Yeah, I knew
that.
Yeah.
That's what I sound like to you.
reactive image.
Yeah, that's my impression of you.
Blue eyes.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna be here today on Fenris's chest. That's
Wait, can I go look? Am I allowed to?
sure. You
I
can,
want to see.
you can go check
I
real
want to
quick.
see. I want to see Booby Logan.
Booby Logan.
Let me see.
Look at him go.
We are still on our way, right?
You are heading
There's
currently
a heading
towards the Gentle
nest.
Nest, which is, as a reminder, it is on the southern edge of town, below the Kubochi Bridge. There is a passage that leads from there into the Gentle Nest area that you've been in before. Ale has not been there, so Ale, if you're sitting here being like, I don't know what they're talking about, that's fine, you'll learn.
Right.
Gonna learn today.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna
So how
reach
far of a walk?
over. Oh, sorry. You
No,
ahead.
go. I was just asking how far of a walk. Like, if you want to do roleplay, I can go for it, baby.
Oh, I was just gonna reach over to tag and cast Greater Restoration at 6th level.
Oh.
Because that's the only spell slot I have.
Oh my
Make
god.
sure, if you do, make sure you expend
The
the
greatest
expend the what is it,
What?
diamond dust, I believe, that you have to
Yep.
with it.
Oh.
All
I would say
right.
diamond dust.
Sorry, I was thinking of saying to go on.
My brain always goes to Shiva when I hear diamond dust from Final Fantasy.
The diamond has been dusted.
All right, in that case, Greater Restoration also would. Are you doing this with the intention of restoring their hit points?
Yeah.
All right. Taguchi, the 91-point reduction on your hit points would go away. However, the damage would still be there.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
totally. I understand.
That's fine. I
Okay.
got really scared.
Because it
I was
was
at 7 hit
concurrent.
points.
You were taking damage alongside it, and we could talk about how you count hit points, but in this case, you're down to 7. But you have a
I look
maximum of
over.
119.
Yeah, dude. I'm a beef boy. I made a beef.
Made of beef.
I turn over to Fenris.
Thank you. Are you sure? That is one of our resources to cure our some of the madnesses, right?
I have enough of it, but for us to continue, you need to be at your best to keep us all safe, you know?
Huh.
She'll
I
give
don't
him
know if I'm
like
gonna
2
be-
thumbs up.
Thank you. I don't know if I'll be protecting anything anytime soon with my current condition, but
Hopefully
I
not.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Actually, in fact, I'm gonna use lay on hands on myself. I'm gonna pump all 30 or 40 of my points into myself.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Huh?
All right. Now I'm still below half. Ugh.
Let's go!
Let's
I'll
go!
get the rod.
Okay,
I want to point out
Mm.
the moment that Tag started, like, being gravely concerned for their longevity was when their max HP was around my normal max HP.
I was like, guys, I'm gonna die. Miriam sitting over there, just like,
Yeah.
Am I a joke to you?
oh, I'm in so much danger.
That was really nice of you, Fenris.
She'll kind of shrug.
Clinging.
With the
Okay.
both of them down, would this not be a good time for us to think about the area off to the south? They obviously would still have the full extent of their forces, but they wouldn't have their 2 main leaders, correct? Might be something to let those down underneath the place know.
I feel like if there were a time to investigate the Zugaiken's, base, now would be the time, right?
Well, speak of the nest, we need to rest anyways.
Yeah, as you guys do this, as you eventually reach the Kubochi Bridge, and as you're about to start descending your way down, on the side of it, climbing your way down to the path that leads to the sunken door, you, Lexi, with the highest passive, you'd be the first person to hear the footfalls upon the wood of the bridge ahead of you as you notice a figure dressed in a white a clerical outfit, red kimono robe top, worn on it, red bracers along their arms, prayer beads wrapped around, well, not bracers on their arms, but red, effectively arm warmers wrapped in prayer beads, long graying hair. You see the elderly visage of the person you know to be Mother Tyr, walking, not attempting to hide themselves, not attempting to impose upon you, arms clasped behind them. I know Ale hasn't seen them, as far as I know, so...
You guys,
this.
it's Mother Tia.
Ah, Granny!
Oh.
That's me as the player saying it, not Wrench.
Sure.
Just a heads up.
Okay.
Just clarifying.
This elderly woman, very deep wrinkles and creases on their face, still looks to be in relatively good physical form despite their age. They don't give the impression of frailty, but their skin shows wear, and their eyes are somewhat faded as they walk towards you. They stop at about 10-15 feet from the group.
I see that you're all still doing quite well.
Oh, are we?
You need to get your eyes checked.
You are alive.
That we are.
Yeah,
Good to see you
why?
again, Mother Tyr.
True enough.
I am
How have you
pleased to
been?
see that you are fine. I am as good as I have ever been, I suppose. As one can be here.
That's good.
If you are here and the moon had just changed, I sought you out because I wish to inquire. Has one of the table fallen?
Yes.
Fenris
believe
will
so.
hold up 2 fingers.
2 of them.
True.
Oh,
Sagittarius and, Rivissimo.
so you have been to the Bastille. And that would explain how you retrieved your friend. And yet you have lost none of your numbers.
Miraculously. Yeah.
Give it
Motion
time.
motion to the 4 new people. It's like the opposite, in fact.
I am relieved to hear that you are as well as you could be. If you defeated Sagittarius, I assume that Baroth is currently, recuperating.
Currently.
We may get some peace around here for a short time, then.
At least for a short time. That'd be at least hopefully enough time for us to rest.
Mm-hmm. May I ask why you are attempting to climb into the waterways?
Felt like taking a bath.
It's a good place to rest.
You'd be surprised how good water feels on feathers after a long fight.
I see. I will not bother you further. I merely wished to check in since the moon had changed color. I happened to be around. Are there any nearby who may require the services of a healer? Were there any others who were hurt in the squabble? I would like to do my due diligence in aiding them.
Raise his hand.
I do not interfere when I can help it with those who are involved in the hunt. If you can walk, you are beyond need for my aid.
What was the village?
There was a lot of fire when we left, so there may be some people nearby who might be suffering from smoke inhalation.
Then I will head there, and I will do my best to help any unfortunate souls who may have been caught in the crossfire. The place you destroyed...
I'm sure your help would be much appreciated.
The place you destroyed is of particular cultural significance here. I commend you for removing it.
Yeah, we'll give a little quarter bow.
Same.
They start walking again. One footfall upon wood in front of the other. Moving towards your group, having come from the other direction, they walk very sternly amongst all of you. And head in towards the center of the town, heading towards the district that you'd set on fire.
Be safe. Whatever you came here to do, make sure you do so exhaustively. You never know when tragedy might strike and your plans may change.
Wrenches, they pass by you. They stop.
You are new.
I am. Hi.
I assume your friends have explained the rules to you.
Yep.
You are lucky to have found yourself in such a large group.
You know, normally I'd agree, but right now I don't feel so lucky.
The worst thing to be in Honokuni is alone. You are more blessed than you believe.
I mean, I agree with you. But right now I think I'm bleeding internally.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
She kneels down, getting about eye level with you. She unwinds some of the prayer beads that are on one of her arms.
Are you under the effects of Sagittarius's vile acts, or are you merely hurt?
I'm just hurt.
I believe our resident cleric is, though, from the looks of it.
You will sleep off those effects.
Good.
You are uninitiated. Young. I get the sense calling you a raccoon would be offensive.
A little bit, yeah.
And is there another thing that those
He's a
like you are
squirrel.
called? I come from a different place.
Arcoon.
An Arcoon. Curious. There's nothing particularly like you where I'm from.
I'm one of a kind.
They wind back up the prayer beads on their arm.
If it is merely harm that you have come to find yourself under, then my assistance is not particularly necessary.
That's all good.
They put their hand on your head very carefully. You feel a very small amount of restorative magic enter your body. You regain
2 points.
You regain 13 points of health.
Oh,
If
shit.
you could add that to yourself, please do.
Quake math.
I cannot offer much to those who are here, but consider that a welcoming gift for those who wish a better life for those in Honokuni.
I appreciate it.
They stand, and they begin walking away. Be safe.
You as well.
As much as any of us can be.
You see them walking away, illuminated a silhouette against the raging fire that is still going on in the distance. You see them walking for quite some time, until the point where they're just a black silhouette against the flames in the distance, eventually disappearing into the heat waves.
Now, where were they coming from?
Oh.
I don't know.
For context, you are, in case you want to try to extrapolate anything, you are on the south side of town. Anywhere beyond here would be the Cinderwood district, the destroyed area where clearly there had been some kind of mass destruction in a ring around the town. And the southern side correlates to the path that leads towards Dead Man's Wake / the Grave Mountains. That is the direction where people try to flee to quite often.
Let us get to our destination more quickly.
Agreed.
Alright, so you guys are going to continue trying to go down into the nest?
Yeah.
Right.
We have the members of the Stars with us, right?
Yeah, they're there.
Okay, making sure.
I will note, as you guys begin climbing onto the stonework, at this point, Enchig does sort of cross their arms. They put one of their feet up on the part of the railing on one of the bridges, or on the bridge, looking at you guys as you go down. As you've been walking with them, you guys have felt the imposing 7-foot frame of this half-orc has been, somewhat threatening to be around. He's very large, very muscular, stands, I believe, above all of you, even Flux. By almost a solid foot. He's tall. He's 7'3". He's a big boy. As he does, he crosses his arms. You see him almost looking down towards the waterway below with confusion, and then just begins to bark out, "So why are we going down there anyways? You guys got a base down there?"
Something like that.
In a sense.
I'd heard there was all kinds of secret passageways below this place. But I didn't know if any of them were not caved in. I figured that he gestures over towards the direction of the Skull Keep. They would have had control of all of them.
No, not all.
Not this
Sometimes the best place to hide is right under their noses.
Yeah, well, we get as far away as we can. But I like your style. As you guys head down, just for your edification, Ally. The stairwell, below the bridge, there is a walkway, just a bit above the water below, that goes underneath the bridge, and there is a door that opens up. As you enter into it, you enter into this stairwell, effectively this long staircase that, going down it, goes down about 40 feet in total, at the end of which there is a pathway where there is a small room with an iron door. As you get close to it, you start to smell the fragrance of strawberries, which is very uncommon here, begin to lightly permeate the area. Lexi, you weren't here before, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so as you come here, Lexi, though you've been told about it, you catch that scent, Lexi, as you come down, and you all just see Lexi's ears just perk up immediately.
Oh my god, you guys.
I know.
Well, what is this place?
Is this heaven? Are we in heaven?
Did I die?
Is heaven in a sewer?
Yeah.
Somewhere safe for the time being. Okay.
We haven't been walking long enough for any sort of like short rest or anything, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm taking like deep inhales as I'm walking.
Oh no, I was debating. I was debating throwing my new spell out, but I can't do it. So.
Okay.
I see.
As you guys head downward, yeah, you eventually come into this this relatively small, mostly featureless stone room where there's a reinforced iron door is the only real thing that's in it with a slider on it. The rest of you have seen it like a sliderette, like what would you call it? Is it peephole? Eye grate? Is there a name for these?
I'm sure there is. It's like an eye slot.
Eye slot. Yeah.
Oh,
Just the thing where you
okay.
slide it across and you watch it. Is there a name for those? 'Cause
I'm sure
Sliding
there is.
doors?
I'm just
I'd say
gonna-
it's
Like an
sliding
old-timey
people.
people.
sliding people.
Yeah, sliding
people.
That feels. That feels. Doesn't feel like a
Yeah?
name so much. It's just a combination of words.
A secret slide.
The little slider. I'm gonna call it a slider. Slider's present is currently closed. As you come down, Flux, could you please roll me perception?
Oh,
Not Flux, not Flux. Wrench. The other tech boy.
I am here.
Aww.
The
You
one
got
that has
Izzy's hopes
slightly
up.
more, the one that has slightly more actual like livy parts.
Yeah, let me just roll perception real quick.
Pretty damn.
That's pretty
Well,
good.
Goddamn them.
Nice.
So, Wrench, as you proceed down, there is the faintest, briefest instant where your helmet lights up for a second and then goes out.
Hey, anybody know if there are undead down here?
I have checked.
Specific what?
I could
Well, my
check.
helmet glowed.
Glowed.
It glued. That's my new way of saying it. It glued.
Oh, I hate that.
I think it's most incorrect.
Yeah. So, just be careful.
Yeah, you guys are messed up. We really can't get into another fight right now.
Tag, can you,
I'm going to
Wrench on
ask
your
a
shoulder.
question. And it's going to be a leading question that if the answer is no, then I will have told you something that you didn't know, but I need to ask anyways because my memory's fuzzy. Last time you were here, do you remember being told about the candles?
I vaguely remember something about candles, but I don't
I
remember
wasn't
specifically
here.
about
I
candles.
remember
Anything
discussing
about-
them, but yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, there was something about candles for sure, but
I'm looking.
You're looking?
I'm looking.
I'm going to give Hayden a second to see if they can... You know what? Well, we'll say that this is a matter of memory. You keep doing that. We're going to keep going. If you guys don't remember, then you don't remember. It's just how it is.
Makes sense.
But, yeah, as you
I've got a
guys...
wisdom of 6. I don't remember shit.
It's true. All right, you guys are in there. What would you like to do?
Divine sense.
Well, not in there. You're in the little room with the reinforced iron door.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Knock, 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 knock.
All right.
Bang, 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 bang.
bang bang?
Oh.
As you knock on it, there is a moment of nothing happening. Then the slider very quickly moves across. You see some very faint light pouring in from the other side as you see... What you see the slider go, and then you hear just the sound of a stool moving, and you hear just... and you hear being placed, and then you see a stout figure getting up on top of it and looking out through it as you just see these kind of, like, wide-set eyes get up. Oh, it's all you.
The handsome winging man dances beneath the moon.
You can ignore him.
I don't think this is a password kind of situation then.
Oh, it's not. I was just letting him know.
Yeah.
I was just letting him know.
Oh, okay.
Oh. The eyes look to you guys. I'd like... No, it wouldn't be. It slides closed. Again, after a second, you hear the sound of something being moved on the other end, just the pulling of a stool. And then it opens. As you open it, you see the rather stout figure of a dwarven man just pulling the door open, too short to have reached the people himself. As he opens it, this is a man you don't recognize as having seen before, but they are wearing the same general clothes that you had seen last time. Painted faces, you see the same general sort of white paint and whatnot covering their skin rather fully. They motion for you guys to come in, seemingly recognizing you, even though you've never seen this particular dwarf before. The area is rather homely, very warm compared to most of Honokuni, like emotionally, not actually warm.
The candles had something to do with helping to hide our the people in the Gentleness. If I remember correct, they were part of hiding their location and keeping things at bay.
If I explained that much to you, then I can remind you because it would have been explained. These candles that are lit in here, I'm gonna share the map with you again real quick.
I'm writing it down this time.
Need it. The Temple of the Gentleness is filled to the brim with dozens, if not hundreds, of these candles of obscuring. And what they do is that within a certain radius around them, they prevent any divination magic from detecting what is within their range, and they prevent any effects that detect types or information. Basically, they obscure the nature of everything around them.
I see.
Which is why I'm bringing up that, yeah, Divine Sense, if you activated it, you would have a general idea that it will be dulled by the candles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did run into that.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Now. Yes.
As you guys come in, I'm not going to put... Yeah, actually, whatever, I can. I'm worried about crowding the map, because obviously when you're not in combat, the 5-foot stand-aparts don't need to happen. But I'm going to throw people on there anyways. The others come in with you. I do not currently have our Fearbold boy, on the map. It's fine. I don't care to go grab him. He's not going to... He's here.
He's around.
As you go in, you see several robed figures moving about. One of them heads off. The one you just talked to, as soon as you're in, closes the door, locks it, engages a series of locks that are on it. You hear the metal clasping of some mechanisms as it closes it behind you, and then they move off that away in the same direction that they'd been fetched before, and not terribly long after, you see the sea elf wearing their robes that you had encountered before. I've given a description of them previously, so for Allay's edification, I am just going to share this.
Yeah, their image is so beautiful.
What was their name again?
Ion Okama.
Ion. What are you? Gotcha.
Happy to see you all survived.
It's good to see you as well.
Logan, question. Do I know them? I don't, right?
You have not met this person.
Logan, question. Do I know them?
No, you have not met this person.
Okay, cool.
Your numbers have increased somewhat since the last time I saw you.
We managed to retrieve our friend, and an unexpected friend as well.
Oh, yeah. Aeon, the stars, Aeon.
Hey! I'm Enchik Holswinder, current leader of the Stars of Ilium. We'd heard about some people who were offering medical aid around here, but we thought it was mostly Tyr. I guess you guys must be the people who are taking others off the streets to give them medical aid?
Aye, that's one of the various things that we try to do. I had hoped to eventually meet you, but I didn't think I would meet you so soon.
Yeah, well, there was need of us in the city, so we came as soon as we had to. You see him, like, puffing out his chest, his voice reverberating almost slightly obnoxiously in the relatively confined space that you're in.
I hope that this is enough to prove that we are among the hunted. Especially since 2 of your enemies now are completely gone.
Right. We did see the moon change several times. Thrice? Well, 4 times now in the past several days. Might I ask which people you managed to kill? Which of the hunted are no longer with us?
Ravissimo.
And Sagittarius.
Then you have been to the Bastille.
We have. We had to rescue our friends.
Right, 2 of them are dead. Sagittarius and Ravissimo are gone.
Yep.
Which means currently in the city, the only person that is keeping it secure is Barath.
Gone.
He's also
indisposed. Yeah.
Oh?
I'm sure he'll be back.
The one that you knocked into the fire.
The worst one.
Oh, I kind of forgot that.
He'll be gone for at least a day, from what we know.
Well, that's every bit of proof that we need. We happily accept that you clearly are the hunted, especially given that you've returned with the Stars of Ilium in tow, and also some rather impressive new allies. Among you, since we had discussed it before, which of you are the hunted, and which of you are merely the unfortunates who were dragged in with you?
I'm in between!
You're in between?
Yeah, I'm hunted, but not yet.
He is yet to go to meet the young lord.
Ah, I see.
As
Just
for the rest
imagine
of us,
Wrench
it's,
raising his hand.
as for the rest of it, it's hard to tell, I believe.
Artorius steps forward briefly.
I'm one of them. I was locked at the Bastille until they came to get me.
Ion nods to them.
Well.
Hi.
Just shoots Mariam a look.
We had discussed when you went there that the Bastille may hold some secrets that we'd be interested in learning. Did you manage to find anything out about them?
Kind of.
When you left, I'd asked why they spent so much energy guarding it.
There are...
They keep the souls of the table members and the hunted members in a basement.
Trapped within magical mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
There's also many artifacts from defeated hunted that Revissimo collected, like knickknacks.
Aye. Interesting.
It seemed like the room they kept all the mirrors in was, I guess displaced is the best word I can think of. It didn't quite feel like it was entirely part of Honokuni, if that makes sense. There was a darkness we needed to move through, and some of us, myself included, can see through magical darkness, but couldn't see anything, and there was something down there.
Do you think these mirrors would be worth retrieving?
The entirety of the Bastille is flooded.
It's hard to say if we could get back to the room through the Bastille until it's rebuilt, I suppose. But it might be worth trying.
They reach up and they, like, just with two of their fingers, they, like, draw them down part of their skin, sort of drawing a minor amount of attention to the slightly scaled, not entirely, but slightly scaled nature of their own skin as they do.
If it's underwater, that's not a huge problem for some of us. If you had thought that it'd be worth retrieving them, then myself and several others could, in theory, still do that.
There was something there when we were near all of the mirrors as well. Something that was sticking to the shadows. It would be dangerous, but it would in fact be interesting to have them at our disposal still.
It could give us the upper hand, but it's risky. It is incredibly risky.
It did seem as though the Zugaiken desperately did not want us to get a hold of them.
They didn't want anyone going down there.
Indeed.
That being said, distract the Zugaiken and there shouldn't be too much of a problem.
If it's not a strong amount of them, then dealing with or sneaking past Zugaiken shouldn't be a huge issue for us. We've dealt with them in the past. But given our dwindling numbers, we don't like to get into altercations we don't have to. Well, except for those of us that don't fear death. There are some of us who are beyond such things. Well, I had promised that if you brought back proof that you were in fact the hunted, then I would speak to the leaders of the nest, and if you wish to grant you audience so that you may speak about the future of Bochi, I am now willing to do that, if that's something that you wish for. If not,
I think
you may rest here. You all look like you're pretty worse for wear.
Thank you. Where may we rest?
There is a area that we normally put those who are sick and in need of treatment. Currently, it's not terribly used. Whenever the hunt begins, people tend to start staying out of the way and staying off the streets. So we haven't had as many people down here.
She points off towards the way that she came.
Just one of the ways down there. One of the rooms is a shrine, and the other one is a place where there's several places you can sleep. Unfortunately, we don't have much in the way of beds. We just have several cots.
That would be fine.
That should do fine.
And the stars.
She, like, looks over towards the other two.
Certainly, I didn't expect to be graced by your appearance here. We had wished to speak with you, but this is an awful lot at once. I will inform Shiga and Vigami that you are here, and I will allow them to decide whether or not this is the time they wish to speak with you. I feel like they probably will. We have a lot to discuss in terms of liberating and keeping Bochi liberated. I believe that we want similar things.
You see the two of them nod affirmatively. It's up to you guys what you want to do at this stage.
I'd like to go over to Ifune and ask him, Master Ifune, if it wouldn't be so much trouble, I was hoping to ask you a few questions. Would that be alright?
Yeah, you can. I don't know what use I would be, but sure.
Well, this is a bit strange, but, suppose I should start with, how much do you know about the books that resided under your place of business?
What books?
There was a...
Thank you.
I look over to Lexi and
I
I'm
guess
just
that
like,
answers it.
the ones we fucking burned or ruined, is that those books?
It's a bit odd, but I believe I temporarily acquired the memories of one of your old acquaintances, and I was able to see certain passageways below the hot spring that contained a large number of old books.
Oh, I didn't know there was anything down there. Beyond there's a secret room in the secret tunnel? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh.
I suppose it is, I did not realize you did not know about that. This should be good. When you are able to repair your business, a lot of those books will need proper care. Many of them were falling to pieces. But, I suppose I may as well ask. I'll pull out the notebook. I jotted down the contents of one of them. Do you recognize what type of writing this might be?
They take it. They start looking through the notes that you present them. Yeah. This is written in Giant.
Giant?
It's a
excellent
kind of crass language, but our family, we do. I think we're some of the only people here who know how to write or speak it. It's just stories about an old god, a great dragon. And then he's like looking through it, clearly not taking in specific information as he does. Yeah, looks like it's mostly anecdotes about old priests and shrine tenders who went to Mount Vajriel, and encounters and conversations they had with a spirit, a deity, who once lived there.
The dragon?
It seems like it. Some of them... He like stops and slows down. Some of them seem to just act like they're talking to the sky. But that might be just metaphor.
I see. It could provide clues as to, the proper, steps we should take as not to offend the dragon, I suppose.
I could spend some time with it and tell you what's useful inside of it.
I would be most appreciative. Especially, it occurs to me that the first time we met, I was under the effects of a sort of madness and may have been rude to you.
You don't seem as quirky now.
Oh, I shall take that as a compliment.
So you had...
I missed Crazy Flux.
Sorry, what did you do? How did you say you knew where these were?
I'm not quite certain of the specifics, but I seem to have been temporarily inhabited by, I believe, an old co-worker of yours. I was able to see their memories of the secret passageways.
Might have been my uncle.
Oh. Believe we may actually have run into him earlier.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, or rather, I should say what seems to be his final resting place. Seemed to have created an area of peace and calm within the forest.
He has been gone for half a decade. So, if he was alive out there, I'd be surprised.
From what I gather, he sounds like he was quite a good man. Even in death, he is helping us to help others and keep them safe. You have my thanks.
Yeah, I didn't know that room was there, 'cause after he disappeared, I ended up wandering down into the tunnels, 'cause he couldn't stop me. I don't know if there's any other secrets down there that he kept. It looks like he must have been researching, I guess, old deities and the history of Honokuni. He did always seem very convinced that the solution to everything laid in the past and origins of this place, but I've only ever been concerned with offering help to people who needed it. That was a very scary music sting.
That was quite ominous.
Oh.
Sorry.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to rest, Miriam. Play something with a little bounce to it.
Seems you took different paths, but heading toward the same end. I thank you for your efforts as well.
Looks like I'll be staying here for a while.
That seems like a good idea. This seems like a safer place than most in this world. But I thank you again for your input on this book. I will leave you in peace. Sorry to trouble you.
You saved me from being executed. You can bother me if you want.
I will try to do so in moderation.
Okay.
Excellent.
He wanders off, heading towards the resting area, taking the book in hand, his very large hands fumbling with the rather tiny book that you wrote in, as he's effectively, like, holding it, like, square in the palm of his hand, with the book barely exiting over, like, his splayed fingers. It's very comically small in his grasp. That'll be him for a while. It'll take a bit for him to read that.
Cool.
I'm guessing the rest of us are just going to go over to the resting area then?
Sure, if that's what you all want to do.
I don't know what exactly they were doing, asking about which one of us specifically were the hunted, but we need to be cautious with telling people exactly who of us there are, should we not?
Yes.
I agree. That's why I didn't say anything.
As you say that,
that would have been nice to know before.
As you say that, Enjig, who's with you, just sits down, and as he does, everything that's, like, sitting under you just seems to, like, a little bit with the force of him sitting. Like, why? We don't trust these guys.
Oh, I trust them. They've helped us out. It's just...
We don't have to trust all of them.
Trusting anyone is dangerous.
And giving them that information might be putting them in more danger than it's worth.
Whenever...
That, or they might pass off that information to someone who would find that valuable.
And whenever we first met Baroth, we were able to get a little bit of an edge on him, because he didn't exactly know who all we were at first.
Note to self, keep my mouth shut.
At this point, they know...
We can't talk about a plan, but we'll
At this point, they know 3. There's still plenty of plenty of others.
You guys raise a good point. You should never trust anybody in Honokuni you're not willing to fight. By the way, it's good to finally meet you guys. We've been waiting for you to come around. I'm Enshig.
I squint at him and I'm like, you did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, I'm also squinting at him like,
I would not want to fight you right now. I will tell you that right now.
Yeah, you're smart.
It's nice to meet you too, Enchik. I'm Taguchi.
Fenris. Waves from behind Taguchi.
I thought your name was Taguchi. What the fuck?
Alright, and just for my, really quiet knowledge here, which one of you guys are the... Which of you are the hunter? Which one of you guys can put the table in the dirt?
It's.
I raise my hand.
Let's see. It's.
Yeah, Fenris raises her hand too.
I'll raise hand. Like as they're doing it, I'm raising my hand.
Why are you raising your hand?
Because we just said we weren't telling everyone.
You shouldn't tell everyone. You're right.
Holy fuck!
You should tell me.
Yeah, you should tell me.
Spartacus. Oh my god, I'm so confused.
I also raise my hand.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't tell everybody, but we're the stars of Ilium. We're the good guys.
Can I?
You know, that's usually what the bad guys say.
We're the stars that are gonna light up the sky and cast down the young lord. You see him stop for a second.
Doesn't sound like very. You know, that doesn't sound like very good guy. You know, anything.
He just looks at you for a second, points at you just with like a finger, like a single finger gun, looks at the rest of you. This one hasn't been here long, huh?
No. You have saved our lives, and for that we are eternally grateful. It's just, again, saying to anyone would also mean that those people would be in danger as well.
Cool.
It's not about anyone else.
Around this time, you guys hear the sound of chains moving, the massive echoing sound of metal grating, and you get the impression that the very large steel gate that blocks entrance into the rest of this facility begins to lift. And then about 20 seconds later, it begins, for about a minute, you hear the screeching of metal again as it closes, and you get the impression that Ion has entered into the deeper parts of the facility. I don't know if you've heard of us, but we are the Stars of Ilium. You seem pretty, relatively familiar with our work.
I've been very eager to meet you.
We're mostly people who consist of those like, I don't know, those of you who are the hunted? Your friends came here because they were with you when you came, right? That's mostly what we were. We're the people who got left behind. A lot of the people who get left behind here by the hunted members who fight usually end up getting indoctrinated and either dying or join the Zugaiken. We're the ones who didn't give up hope.
Wait, those of us who aren't hunted, by the time the hunt is done, they don't get to leave?
Not usually, no. Not unless someone asks for you to leave, and not unless one of you wins, and you say that you want everybody to go home.
Oh.
And your hunted did not request for you to leave?
Not a lot of them have probably won.
No, see,
they might have died. I don't think they've won.
Those that we came with, they, unfortunately they were on the losing side of things.
I see.
It is very rare, you know. We haven't been here terribly long, but it is rarer for the hunted to win.
Of course, we're not looking to leave.
You wish to stay?
We wish to fix this shit.
Oh.
I like your attitude.
It's quite admirable.
Assholes like Sagittarius get to come back at the end. So, we need to find a way to end this permanently.
I too would like to end Sagittarius permanently.
Yeah! I don't know why, but yeah!
Whoa. Is he not dead?
By the end of the hunts, the table members might, assuming we don't take their place, they would just refill their positions, correct?
Yeah, the table members are immortal, effectively. When the hunt's not going on, you kill one of them, they just pop up again the next day. During the hunt, they stay down if killed. But then once it ends, they go right back to being immortal, and they come back, unless they're replaced.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Me too.
When the hunt's not on, we have to live with that every day. Between hunts, the stars have to just stay out of the way and do what little we can. We can't actually enact any constant change. If we die, almost all the time, we just stay in the ground. The Zugaiken often come back. Baroth, he comes back every time. And if we were to piss off Jakku, for example, too much, then we may cause problems for ourselves, so we have to be tactical about what fights we pick.
Understandable.
But you guys can enact change. You could end things, or, I don't know, you win, you go up to the young lord, say, Young Lord, we wish to leave, and also, I don't know, for a meteor to strike your castle with you in it.
Oh, God.
We haven't exactly figured out the solution yet. We're workshopping the end.
Okay.
I was going to ask if you had any concrete ideas of how to fix this place, but apparently not.
I don't.
We have learned
Nausea
of
might. He like thumb points to Nausea. They got an idea, but
Oh, what's your idea?
What do you have in mind?
I have spent a good deal of time researching the people that came before us. As most people who end up in Honokuni find, the past is where most of our advantages lie. A long time ago, my understanding is there was a district on the other side of the Grave Mountains where nobles used to live. There was a section where many of them held property that was effectively a more ritzy, upper-class area. And many of them were also those who would tend to a god of this place. Many of the nobles that lived within Honokuni appeared to be people who worshipped a great dragon that this place once held in high esteem. I have found some research that seems to indicate that among all of the nobles who were murdered, which I believe that they all were at some point, the table and the young lord appeared to take umbrage with the remaining people who were here. They seem to want to wipe out the entire upper class whenever they took over. But I have not been able to find out why, but that is besides the point. Some of them, one of them, a woman who I've come to understand is named Lady Kaguya, survived for some time. And there are some indications that they had gone about researching ways to allow souls to pass on permanently here and to escape from the grips of Honokuni. And furthermore, that noble... These are only rumors, but there's some accounts that they succeeded, and that they managed to free their own soul from this place. If they left behind any research about how that could be done, that could be used to permanently defeat table members, for example, or if people die, to allow their souls at least to leave this place. So, we wish to go there and to research. However, that area is particularly dangerous, even for us.
Well,
How so?
There is a
with
great
Barath,
yokai that lives there, Inuyari.
do you
Inuyari.
know anything about them outside of the fact that they're, from what I understand, to be a yokai lord?
They are a yokai lord, a dai yokai. They are a dai yokai of the Inushi breed, which are a sort of canine wolf yokai. It is a great wolf that stands as tall as a building. It is capable of controlling its lesser kind, and it seems to use that area as its hunting ground. As yokai come into being often as the result of great tragedies, the emotional turmoil of great tragedies tends to spawn their existence, and the greater the contempt, the tragedy, the negativity, the more powerful the yokai that's created. We believe that Inuyari was created by the act of the upper class being wiped out, of their feelings of being hunted, created this powerful yokai, and so it feels like the area that caused it to come into being, it holds that as its territory. And we've never made contact with it, as far as we know, because anyone who goes out there tends to be hunted, toyed with, killed. Inuyari is playful in his anger, and seems to see all people within Honokuni merely as a flock to be hunted in his own way.
Hunted from two sides, it seems.
We have considered trying to pit Inuyari and the table against one another because we know they do not get along. The table appears to see Inuyari as a liability. However, none of them appear terribly interested in solving the problem. And that side of the country is often overlooked by the table because it is protected by Gelfus, a tangential ally of ours.
Gelfus?
Have you heard the name Gelfus before?
I don't believe you have.
I don't think so. Doesn't ring any bells.
Gelfus of Kyoha resides on the top of a very tall pillar of stone that juts out from the ocean. There's a town called Tenchiseki that he watches over. He is, depending on who you ask, there are those who will tell you he is a guardian deity that protects the innocent. We know that not to be true. We have spoken to him. We know him. He wishes us well. He also dislikes the table. He is a powerful sorcerer who is doing his best to create an area where people can be free of the table in Tenchiseki. And he is powerful enough that those who have attempted to approach are often driven back. He has helped us on numerous occasions, but he is not interested in any solution that does not seem final, so he is not willing to help us in more than if we can get people to him. He helps aid in the protection of that place. He's also insanely difficult to speak to, so we choose not to if we can avoid it.
How
What
so?
makes him difficult?
Yeah, what's so difficult about it?
Highly eccentric. Insanely eccentric. Very, very difficult to get along with.
I see.
We might know a couple people like that. We may have proficiency in befriending.
But he has more interested in the hunted than us, because you have the ability to cause change. So you may have better luck speaking to him than us. I've also heard, he wears many faces, I've been told. That he has held many in our time here. We've never seen him fall, but we have heard that he has a particular rivalry with the young lord's samurai swordsman who protects him, Hirohito. We understand that the two greatly detest one another, but for some reason Gelfus has claimed neither of them can permanently erase the other for various reasons. So they have this begrudging, eternal rivalry that seems to spurn Gelfus on.
Now that is interesting.
Best we can tell, he's also been here long before any others that we can find. Not longer than the young lord and his kind, but Gelfus seems to be confident he has been here since every single existing standing member of the table.
That's incredible.
And you say that he goes to a village near the ocean?
Yeah. A small fishing village. Tenchiseki. Used to be unimportant, now it's the only sanctuary people have. We actually stayed there for a while before, but it became very hard to help people on this side because it's across the water from this side. And, going across the water does not work!
Oh, please tell me more.
Right.
What do you mean?
Because that giant
monster.
squid son of a bitch is in there.
Oh, okay.
The thing.
So tell me what happens to
right.
those. Do you know what happens to those who are taken by that squid?
They get eaten.
And they don't come back.
They get eaten. Okay, so what happens? People who try to leave by boat, they die. There have been occasions where the hunted have tried to leave beforehand, and, they've said that it's met them in the mists, on the water, in the sky, whenever they try to leave.
In the sky?
It seems when the hunt is on.
But I guess not.
It seems when the hunt is on, it can't kill the hunted, or those with them, but dying to it tends to instill a great unshakable fear in people. And they always end up coming back, but inside, so it's... We've tried to wage war on it, and it will not die. It's not...
So, they do come back.
The hunted, and those that are with them during the hunt, everybody else gets eaten.
So, if one of you, if you came in here with a hunted, you would have been defeated, but you would have still survived.
Yeah, maybe. We never tried. Well, we did, that's a lie. We tried, and then we hit it for about 2 hours. We fought the thing, we had cannons. It won't die. It will not. It refuses to die.
The reason I ask is because we did come here with one other person, and it is very interesting to know what may have happened to him.
Hmm. Did I mention it flies?
Oh, jeez.
What flies? What?
So this... Yes.
There have been those who have tried to leave the country by air, by going up and then through the mist, and it has the uncanny ability to pull the ocean with it into the air.
Well, the thing is,
Fenris will just tilt her head.
this thing is directly just from my nightmares. I see. Wonderful.
Fascinating.
How much of the ocean does it take with it?
Oh, dude.
That
Big ball of water goes through the air.
Ah.
Big ball.
Big
My
ball.
headphones died. I had to get a new one.
Oh no.
I had to jump up and talk to dogs, and then
Only-
freaking I pulled the cord out.
I've only seen it once. Big ball of water, covered in mist, shrouded, tentacles writhing out of it. It just pulls itself up there and just gets him.
Does it? No, that question's a non sequitur. Ignore my curiosities.
What?
Fenris just looks like she's thinking really hard. trying to picture this.
I don't know anything
imagine-
about non-sequential curiosity, but that thing will not die.
Can you imagine Legion completely strucken with fear of something? That is
No.
something that is very
I can't,
interesting.
mainly because I've never met this Legion.
Me neither.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was musing.
They're awful.
Oh.
Indeed. Very large, very angry, very on fire.
Wouldn't it be just the best, though, if he was keeping that thing occupied, at least for a while?
It's been... No.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not hold up hope either.
Yeah, sorry, I think your friend got ate.
That's perfectly fine.
Oh, that's good.
So sorry.
It's fine that your friend got ate?
He wasn't
he was
a
not
friend.
our friend.
Oh!
He was.
I didn't even know.
He came
wished to
in, we
kill
were
us.
fighting. We were fighting him. He wished to kill all of them. We have the same employer. Not really a friend.
To be fair, he only wanted to kill him.
That's
Work
true.
colleague. Work colleague. Work colleague.
Right. So yeah, so we have, 2 leads. One is you do Nosia's thing, and you go try to track down the, whatever Lady Kaguya left behind, and you brave the big wolf demon that I personally would love to get my hands on, but I've been advised that that is not a good idea. Or we keep coming back to this drop a meteor on Yorika Castle plan.
We do keep coming back to that idea.
And I
yes.
think it's a good plan, personally.
So
if it
what-
doesn't
You say
kill
they were
them,
immortal, though?
But
if it doesn't kill them,
drop-
they'll at least be homeless.
And that's
But if-
something I can get behind.
I would
But
like
if we
to
drop
not-
a meteor on them, they might not be willing to, grant us permission to leave, even if we win the hunt.
Yeah, well, they never give anyone anything good anyways.
I would like to not wipe the one place I can taste food off the map, just in case.
I've never been
Maybe
there.
you could
I
do the
have
ruins.
no... I'm fine with it, personally.
It feels
Okay.
as if you've given us all of the information you have on those 2 subjects, but do you know anything of the dragon up to the north in the mountains?
I suppose you're not going to like this question very much, but which one?
What?
There is the shrine that once worshipped a deity that was considered to be the very embodiment of the sky. Once blessed Honokuni and acted as its guardian. We believe that there's still something to that, because that's one of the few places where light naturally emanates, as I'm sure you've seen it. However, there is also, and we don't have much information about it, there's another dragon that is more sinister, that also stalks those areas, as well as the countryside between here and where we stay at a lighthouse on the shore. That is it was a dragon once, now it's been reduced to a sort of shadowy beast by the influence of this land.
So we're probably talking about the shrine thing, then,
Okay.
I think.
What-
believe so.
So the question is, what do we know about it?
Yes, if you have any ideas on anything that we could find of note off in that direction, or anything we should be wary of, it is somewhere we plan to go.
Well, no one has ever been able to make it. But that's a lie. There are those who have been able to make it to the summit. Just none among us. We believe that if the dragon is still present, then it only permits entry to those who prove themselves. We are not sure of its criteria. Our former leader seemed to believe that there are certain blessings and points of light, as he referred to them as, that would allow the dragon that would cause the dragon to grant audience to those who possess them. He went out of his way to locate. She regards over to Mist Render on Tag's back that was one of them. And indeed, when he acquired it, he had a vision of that dragon. We do know that there is a certain superstition from the land a long time ago that stated that if a certain amount of people knew anything within this land, that the dragon would become aware of it as well. That anything that became commonly held information was known to it immediately. So, for example, if enough people learned the name of a person, that the dragon would simply become aware of it because it was considered public knowledge. We believe that is how it keeps track of what's happening. And we also have a theory that that is why the table and the young lord are very secretive about many things. Because they do not wish that the guardian deity of this land should come into knowledge of things that they do not wish them to.
So luckily we didn't make our way there if we only have one of these, well, trials out of the way.
You've defeated 2 members of the table. It is possible. I'm not an authority, but if the dragon is looking for those who can prove themselves to represent a force of light within Honokuni, then certainly defeating members of the table must account for something. It is actually the etymology of our name, the Stars of Ilium. We are based off the idea of being those points of light.
Hopefully we can please this dragon then.
I'm not sure what it can offer you. During my own and Enchig's hunts, when we were drawn in, none of the hunted that we were associated with ever got to speak with it. Things went too quickly.
So we can either assume that we can get there now, or we can assume that we might need to look into more things surrounding that dragon itself.
Perhaps the book, once translated, can give us some more specifics on that front.
Either that or what we found off in the forest, potentially. Either way.
In the Akuma Kyofu, what did you find?
There was a cemetery of sorts, or mausoleum of note that seemed to have inscribed that the name of a great dragon would be something to allow those with passage into it.
Indeed. I suppose we could enter now.
Mm-hmm. Now that we have the name.
If there was anything of some sort of a trial or anything like misrender that could be of somewhere, it might be there.
Might be very useful.
I believe if there was anything like misrender or anything else around, that is the only other place I can think that that dragon at least has any sort of sway over.
It might interest you that there are certain people within the history of Honokuni who referred to themselves as the disciples of the dragon. They are people who claim to be acting specifically in its interest. And though there was once a handful of them, we like to think of them as progenitors to our efforts. Though there was once a handful of them, there are only 2 that we know of. One was Lady Kaguya, who had been someone who tended to the shrine of the dragon. We believe that perhaps their research was based on knowledge passed down to them from it, but we don't have much to substantiate that. The other is Gelfus.
Huh.
Oh.
So if we go to one of these 2 places, we could learn more before
Indeed.
setting off.
Gelfus claims to have spoken to, have knowledge of, and be acting in accordance with the dragon. When we have asked him what he means, and to expand on that, he told us to mind our own business, that we couldn't cause any meaningful change, that we should probably just go lie down and sleep for the rest of our lives, and to go away.
Oh.
He sounds very... the word you said before.
He does not seem to have much faith in us, no.
No.
All right.
Maybe we can talk to him.
When it comes to this Lady Kaguya and the large yokai, that is in the area beyond where the Zugai can stop people?
So, you're familiar with the Crescent mountain range, the Yorika Mountains, in which the Young Lord's castle is situated? On the other side of those mountains, to the south, there is a series of manors and mansions and townsteads built into the southern slopes of that mountain. And that is where once many nobles resided, seemingly keeping themselves in close proximity to the Saigo clan, which was once the ruling clan within this land. And as soon as...
I would see that...
As soon as things went south, it seems like the new Saigo clan, our young lord, saw fit to wipe them out.
I would see that now would be a perfect time to head off in that direction then, with Lord Baroth not being able to really stop us. We would still have to worry about the Zukaiken, but...
True, but it'll be an easier time.
Exactly.
Sagittarius also used to make a point of manning the dead man's path. He once had attempted and had made it his mission to kill Gelfus, and then after a series of embarrassing encounters where he was pushed back and unable to even so much as cross the countryside to reach Tenchiseki, he decided that victory for him would be preventing anyone from fleeing in that direction, which is why he previously had spent most of his time guarding that place. But you've eliminated him. You'd have a much easier time crossing.
I see then that looks over toward everybody else. My thoughts on the subject would be we have two paths forward. Either we make our way back to the young lord because of Wrench's situation, or we immediately make our way down to the south.
Well, the situation there is we had our plan to take out Jakku when we go to Yorika Castle. Is we go, attend the banquet, fuck up her boat. And I'm not sure if we still want to take that path, but that is still an option.
Do it. Fuck up her
We
boat.
will. We will
Can I
have to
burn
take
it?
them out eventually.
I hate
Probably
that
not.
boat so much.
I think it would be really hard to burn a boat with a phoenix on it.
It's hard to see the stars when the sun's out. I hate that
All right,
boat.
can I drown it?
I think that would be much more of a thing. Maybe.
Or we take it and use it for our own, or literally anything else.
Ooh, I like that.
I guess.
I believe that was part of the plan originally, was to take over use of the boat.
Unless,
Yes,
of
it
course, it only works when the phoenix is inside it.
That's true.
Oh, that would suck.
Oh.
I guess that's a
Seems
complication
quite
we hadn't.
probable.
I guess
Or
we'll
at least
find that
it had
out
been
if.
recently.
I guess.
I was just gonna say, if anything, if that is the case with the Phoenix, then, I mean, we could... I still got a couple of gems on this damn helmet. We could just use that as like a power source.
I don't think it works quite that way. I think it might be powered by the Phoenix's life force itself, and also...
In that case.
We would need to
Your creativity is
understand more.
appreciated, though.
So
The only thing that would give us anything going off in that direction, however, is the fact that Wrench at that point would be able to, well, take out the members of the table, as well as the rest of us hunted.
Having more hands on deck in that sense would be helpful. Also, what were you going to say, Miriam?
I think focusing on Skull Keep is important right away. The longer we give them time, if we can stop the Zugaiken from coming back, even temporarily, we can begin to build fear among their ranks, which is something I don't think they feel very often.
For what it's worth, we took Skullkeep once. During our hunt, it was the only accomplishment that our compatriots actually managed to pull off. It was challenged. Sagittarius was defeated during our hunt, and Baroth was challenged and temporarily beaten. We found once we were inside, there was not a lot that we could do to prevent the Zugaiken from returning. We briefly walled off the section below that they returned from, but the sheer manpower of the amount of them managed to find their way back out. We've come to understand the only way that the Zugaiken can be properly prevented from returning is for the leader of the Zugaiken to officially state they're disbanded, at which point the modern ranks of the Zugaiken are no longer bound. I found some notes that state that this happened once before, and then they eventually came back when a new leader was chosen and new members were indoctrinated. It is likely something that the original leader of the Zugaiken has to bestow. My impression is that Hirohito is the one who must choose the new leaders, because from everything I can find and what research I've been able to do,
The Zugaiken were a force that he, though much greater than, he assembled a long time ago.
So to get rid of the Zugaiken, we have to get Baroth to abdicate.
We have found that difficult.
Yes.
He was a leader back where I'm from many years ago.
We tried to negotiate with him once.
I assume that didn't go well.
It turned out to be an ambush, and we lost our former leader in it, and Mistrender was stolen.
Ah.
We took Skull Keep during our hunt. He took that personally. And the next time he met with us, supposedly on peaceful terms, he allowed negotiations to carry through, listened to what we had to say, and then when he decided he wanted none of it, attacked, reduced our forces to about a dozen strong, which is roughly what we are now, and took from us our former leader, and Mistrender and Enchig had to step up to take over.
What if we could promise him revenge? Not keep the promise.
I thought of that.
Promise him revenge against Hanzo.
I don't know if motivating him with such a petty goal would be good. It might work.
Do you think we could appeal to, I don't know, the good that was the Lord Protector in him?
It's possible.
Possibly. I'm trying to think of our current protector. They're very different.
I've never...
I think he's a duty-bound person.
You see Artorias shift. Having been leaning against the wall, mostly taking in information, they switch caliber in its scabbard, which had been leaning against one shoulder, they shifted over to the other.
People that are honorable, even if it's extinguished, tend to carry that with them. If he was a good man once, he probably still has something of that inside him. It's a matter of appealing to what his values were.
Protecting a people.
Getting rid of the Zugaiken, at least for this hunt, would be extremely advantageous. If we get there whenever he comes back, whenever he crawls his way out of the ground, that could
that's
be
not how he
advantageous
returns.
to us. Oh.
No, he has the same sort of protection that the rest of the table members seem to have, which is why he considers himself part of them. We don't know why he's special in that regard, but no, he tends to apparate without much consequence from the mists, wanders his way back.
Oh,
even if he was killed by a hunted?
Yes, he seems to be outside that cycle. He is beyond that consequence.
Then taking Skullkeep may be disadvantageous.
Possibly.
We could still learn something by going there, though.
Possibly.
We could also get his ire and get rid of any chances we have to actually talk with him.
If we could locate where he was coming back from and ambush him before he could get to Skull Keep, then we could talk with him in a situation where he wouldn't be able to set up a similar ambush.
That would be difficult.
From what it sounds like it's sort of a...
Anywhere.
It just apparates, yeah.
Not to mention, do we have any idea if the timeline for his resurrection is similar to the Zugaiken, or
It should be
is
within.
it
It should be within a day or so.
Okay, so much shorter
Relatively
time frame.
I would say
as
that
it is with all table members. If they are killed, they return very shortly.
I would say then at that point we should make our way down south as quickly as we can. He will make his way back to Skull Keep. He'll be able to gain back whatever prominence that he had before, but at the very least he wouldn't be here to stop us from going through the pass. If we take Skull Keep, then he'll just get angrier, and he'll be less likely to listen to our...
Hey, if you guys decide you want to take that place, we'll help. But we only have about a dozen people. The issue is seizing a place that has about 50 soldiers that constantly reform themselves within it. It's difficult to hold.
There's a window of opportunity. At some point, many Zugai can relocate to protect the young lord. If during that window we could move in and take it, but it's not taking Skullkeep that I was thinking of. If we could get the right equipment, we could at least drop large sections of Skullkeep onto its base, and that would give us a grand amount of time before they would be able to repair it to the degree that they could climb out.
If you want to, we're familiar with what you had spoken of, the times when, as far as our intel is, that Hirohito leaves and goes to do something else, and during that time the Zugaiken and table members tend to perform security duties at Yorika Castle. It is mostly unguarded at that time. We don't know when the next one will be, but we usually require a few days' worth of warning if you want us to keep you informed.
It'd be interesting. We don't have the equipment, though. The kind of devastation I'm thinking of would need a lot.
I will note that I don't believe it will happen as long as there is a hunted member that has been uninitiated. In our experience, Hirohito is very specific about staying near the young lord until all of the hunted had finished their business at the castle.
Makes sense.
Also,
Avi will look at
Nocia. We've taken to, by putting a few pieces together, we've taken to not referring to the Lord's sword by name.
You hold similar superstitions about his name that you...
We hadn't thought of that.
We have reason to believe he might be more involved and have more power here than we've been led to believe. So, for sake of safety, and for the sake of our plans not falling through immediately, we've been calling him the Lord's Sword, or
and if we're right, he now knows all that.
All right, Lord's Sword. Got it. We'll
Sword, Lord's Blade, whatever you fancy.
We'll take that up. We'll avoid his name as well, just in case.
That puts us back in the same position then, either going off to the young lord or making our way south. If the biggest problem going south was Sagittarius, then perhaps getting Wrench in this is the better option.
I can't imagine he's coming back, and I am deadly curious as to who the last two members of the table are.
I wonder.
Which ones do you know? We've only ever actually encountered a few of them. I've heard of Ravissimo, but I had never actually seen them. I know we knew Sagittarius, Jakku, and, I have not seen Tribulation, but Nocia has. We don't know
those
the
are the ones we know as well.
We know as well.
We know they have, a table member who supposedly is always shadowing the young lord whenever the Lord's Blade cannot. And we do not know the other one. There is a member who simply has not been involved in the hunts that we've seen.
Whoa. You know they're the strongest one.
Sorry.
I have a few guesses as to one, but I would like to confirm.
Alright guys, it's me.
It's been Wrench this entire time.
I knew it.
It's the sea monster. Anyways.
That makes sense.
Tell me if it's... Oh, my brain.
It is I, Quintus! I'm from the future where you saved me, but then I came to Honokuni in the past, so that I showed up to be a table member in the future.
What a
Look at my cool
fucking
face
thing.
scar. That's how you know I'm from the future, because of my face scar. Yeah.
He just explains it. He pulls a whiteboard in from off screen, has a pointer, and points to parts of a board. It's me, Quintus, from the future. Even though we're outside of time, I escaped on my own. Then you weren't there, so I went back in time to the past so I could come to the now in Honokuni, and I'm mad at you.
Oh, see, I'm mad because in the future all of you die, and that made me really sad.
Well, why are you mad?
Well, you know,
spoilers.
I'm crazy. I got through here. I'm super crazy now.
Sadness turns to anger, all that bullshit, blah blah. Yeah. You get it.
Yeah.
So there's no talk of, well, I suppose, shadows.
What's your suspicion?
Nothing of matter.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's possible that sixth one may have been involved at some point. I guess it's more accurate to say no one who's ever fought them has told any stories or been seen fighting them, or, you know, like, they're all involved, I'm sure, but if you die and no one's around to see you fight, then it's not like we don't know.
Like a tree falling in a forest.
Yeah.
No more at the
If a
banquet.
tree falls in a forest on a guy and no one's around to see him try to punch it, then no one knows they fought the tree.
Do you fight trees?
I mean, if it comes at me, then yeah.
If a tree fights in the woods, but there's
If
no
a tree falls on me, I'm not just gonna take it. It's not happened,
would like to have a
but...
word with you, sir.
What?
Oh, the Lorax! You know that hunted member that showed up?
All I'm saying is trees don't just fall down. If one falls on me, it shows what's coming to it.
Yeah, we've had some bad experiences with trees.
Yeah. Fuck
That's
trees. You don't think the other table member's a tree? That's not what this is, right?
No.
Okay.
However, that would be hilarious.
It's true. Also
Sure.
scary.
It's a tree.
Perhaps we talk to the leaders here, figure out anything they can tell us, and then make our way over back to the banquet then?
Yeah. You see an uncertain look come across his face. Do you know how long these guys have been here?
No.
Not
Quite a
precisely,
while
no.
from what I've seen.
Why?
It just seems... they're just doing a lot of good. And, he, like, scratches the back of his head. I guess I just don't know why they never came to talk to us. They said that they wanted to. They seem to be expecting us, but... I mean, if they've been here since at least the last hunt, then, like, it's been a while.
Are you guys particularly hard to find?
And when was the last hunt?
A while ago. It's hard to keep track of time. People age at different rates here, and time passes weird, and there's no sun.
It's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. A lot going
on. We've been here for at least... well, our hunt was roughly, what, 3 or 4 ago? We've been here that long, at least. Well, the stars only properly formed 2 hunts ago. We don't know when they formed, but we started to hear about people vanishing off the streets and being protected, or so we heard. Some people came back in better spirits, more healthy. Disease began going down here. We had assumed that to be part of them. But no, it just strikes us as odd that they never tried to contact us. And you just see him pipe up and butt in. We're not hard to find, but we are... I mean, it's complicated. There's not many of us.
We can say that their want to stay away is what actually saved them from being found out in this place. At the same time, it is rather odd. That is why the amount of caution that we give them should be brought up from now on, I think.
It's good to be safe of everyone. Don't tell people anything unless you plan to fight them.
Indeed.
I'd also like to fight them whenever... I'd also like to talk to them whenever I'm a little bit better off, so if you don't mind... Lays back.
It seems you're both in the business of doing good from the shadows, it seems. Biding your time.
Yeah, like that one movie, Ratman.
We try to...
That's
we
a
try to
joke.
protect people we can. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower to hold a settlement or anything. The best we do is we try to give the Zugaiken a hard time, occasionally interfere if they try to recruit more Zugaiken. We try to discourage them. If new hunted show up, we talk to them. If there are others among the hunted, we try to recruit them. Our efforts are mostly centered on trying to make sure that the Zugaiken don't get stronger. As well as...
I'd also like them to not be stronger.
I was kicking their ass if they come too far east. These guys are healing people. Nocia can do some of that, but looks like these guys are actually offering... He, like, pats one of the little cots. They're offering actual Accommodations, all we have is the basement of a lighthouse. That's all we got. And a lighthouse.
Live it up while you can.
Maybe there's a way to work together while still staying separate. You could do more good that way.
Yeah. We'll talk to them after you guys go. If you guys got things to see to, if we want to plan and coordinate with these guys, we'll need more time anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're
Stay
slightly
cautious.
more distrustful of us than they are of you, regardless. Anyhow, how do you guys feel about getting some rest?
Please.
On it.
Mm-hmm. I think we need
An
it.
excellent idea.
Are you in danger of succumbing to this place's effects?
You kidding? Ain't nothing can get inside this head. Fear, madness, insanity. I'm above all that. It's nothing I can't take on. And also, it stops happening after you've been here a while.
Okay. Cool.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. I mean, by a while, like years.
Got to be an interesting few years, though.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sitting here like, oh, I got some stories for you, boy. Oh, you know, you got no idea. Oh my god.
Briefly, thought I was a halfling for a while.
Oh.
Been there.
Yeah, I hit my head on a lot of door frames.
Oh.
Oh. I love him.
That's fine. Hits his own head. This thing's solid.
It's true. It's quite solid.
What about you, Angel? Anything to tell?
My nature as someone who is more blessed is made it that I didn't succumb as easily, and I've relatively quickly learned that I was able to negate it using particular magics, which I imagine by this point you must have as well. So though I did suffer from madness, I did manage to stave it off when it happened, and those that are of divine or blessed nature seem to acclimate more quickly.
Huh.
Ooh, protections of the other side.
Have you ever known anyone to be under a madness that they weren't aware of?
Yes, all of them. In my experience, those who have became mad took it as natural, as second nature. They only noticed that their behavior was aberrant after it had been cured. Even those that could intelligently admit that something had changed, they seemed to find a way to rationalize it. It was actually very common for members of who had appeared alongside the hunted to be overcome with types of madness that made them complacent, lethargic. It seems some of the madnesses this place causes, it seems to wish to push people to accept their fate, to not push for things to be worse.
That seems accurate.
That seems
Whenever I've been mad, it was not immediately apparent until it was pointed out to me. And even then, I wasn't ready to believe it.
Unfortunately, the hunted that I came with, a dear friend of mine, who I miss very dearly, they, near the end, despite being a hunted, they were influenced by this place in such a way that they became obsessed with the idea of bartering with the table, that they could not be defeated, they had to be bartered with, they had to see reason, and despite my insistence that that was absurd, it led them to be compromised, and they found themselves unguarded. I don't know who it was who killed them. They wandered, since we did not support them, they wandered out into the night, and I believe they headed towards the Akumakyofu with an attempt to reach Urika Castle to talk to the table and talk to the young lord. This idea that they could be trusted. They acquired this idea that the young lord and the table could be trusted to see reason above anyone else, and whoever they encountered, they killed them, and they did not become part of the table. That madness led to their death, and they didn't see anything wrong with it. There is a lot that is a mystery. I have tried to focus on the history of this place, because I find the more I try to delve into how the country itself functions and how this domain works, the closer I feel to madness, the closer I feel to, not even as a result of the supernatural properties, just merely from knowing too much about this place, I feel my sanity slip, that if I truly understood what this place was for or how it worked, I perhaps would not be able to comprehend. So I focus on useful information, history, the successes of those who have come close in some regard, like Lady Kaguya, like Gelfus. You should all rest. When we awaken,
Scooches closer to Taguchi.
when we awaken, hopefully, you will be able to speak with the leaders of this place, come to your own conclusions, and then once you've acquired whatever information you will, you can decide what you believe the best course of action to be, and we will be here to offer our guidance and support whatever you decide. Our methods have not succeeded in the past, so we are willing to offer ourselves to whatever method you believe to be the best.
You all get some rest. About 8 hours of time passes. Some of you sleep, some of you don't, some of you breathe, some of you eat, some of you don't. Fenris.
Yes,
You are the first, whenever it happens, you are the first one to, and this is a rather arbitrary piece of information, but you're the first one to, like, come alert after the rest. You are made aware of the sound of what sounds like somebody vomiting. You hear somebody coughing. The door outside had opened and somebody was brought in, and you hear somebody hacking up. It sounds like they're hacking up a lung, and then suddenly they throw up, and you hear one of the people from outside just softly being like, there, that's fine, that's fine. We'll get you some help. Come with me. And you hear just doors opening and closing on the other side, but the sound of the turmoil is enough to stir you awake. I presume you were trancing, but to stir you out of that.
Yeah. Gosh, I might go to the door and peer out, but I assume that whatever kerfuffle sick person that was has been ushered away elsewhere.
Ushered away. As you peer out, you briefly see the shadowy figures lit by the candlelight of someone that you recognize before. You see a female half-elf. I don't know if you were introduced to them, wearing the robes, escorting what looks to be another half-elf who seems to have come in from outside away. They look sickly. They look like they're probably running a fever. They're moving unsteadily. Nothing really suspicious about it, as much as the half-elf wearing the robes of this temple help them to walk and seem to move them off into another one of the rooms. You hear a wooden door open and close.
Something the matter, Fenris?
Oh, just a new patient, I suppose.
They did say there was disease around these happening.
I wonder if it is anything we could assist with.
I might be able to. Is there, like, a physical way for us to become aware of the fact that our maximum hit points have not
You feel
been
feeble.
restored?
You feel weak. As you guys all do start stirring, those of you that had lost your hit points, you do find that you don't seem to feel stronger again. You still feel weakened.
Shivine!
Oh. I think I see what you mean.
Fenris will make her way over to Flux and Nemric and cast Greater Restoration on both of them.
Selberon, fix yourself.
Yeah, Fenris, she's right.
You took several hits yourself.
I could clock you in the face and you would go down.
And we need you to be okay.
I know. I was
If
just
you want
merely
to
making... No, go
you
on,
want to be able
Aviana.
to... I will go on. If you want to be able to help people like you say you do, put your pride aside and help yourself. What are you so afraid of?
What is there not to be afraid of here, Aviana? Fenris will reach over, touch her own shoulder, and cast a 6th level Greater Restoration on herself.
You still only have 10 hit points at the moment, but your maximum did go up.
Oh.
Yeah, here, Fenris, let me return the favor. I'm getting the rod.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, nice.
You,
Two.
Flex.
Damn.
It would be foolish not to be fearful here, and you know that.
God.
Lucky a few more minutes of that, and you would have had to deal with
Okay.
Dr. Merriam, MD,
Ooh.
PhD.
All right.
Esquire.
Nemric, get over here.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah,
missing
you-
19, but that's fine.
You like Fenris
My
way more
pleasure.
than you like Nemric. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
I'm used to it.
Fenris will just kind of audibly groan and reach over for Nemric and give him a fucking cure wounds. Just shut up.
As you're doing that, and as I'm like getting the massager from Flux, I'm just gonna look over towards you, your hand coming over to heal him. How many more diamonds do you have, Osile?
Ground down diamonds. Oh, 2 more. So that should help us with dealing with madness.
And that's something we need to ask these people about. I have plenty of money that we took from the area off to the north, so let's see what we can do.
I suppose this is you repaying me.
As
for
you
the
guys are
errands.
waking up, Nocia will stand and they'll be like,
There's no need that you should have to forget that we're here to help.
and they walk over to the lot of you, to the 3 of you, provided no one stops them, the 3 of you being Fenris, Flux, and Nemric. They will assist in restoring hit points.
Much appreciated.
Y'all are about to get a cure wounds.
A cure wounds?
Y'all
Ooh,
regain.
only a level 1. Ha, I used a level 2 on Nemric.
Y'all regain 6.
Why are you being an ungrateful bitch?
I bred him being a schmarmy bitch. Fenris is-
They're then going to
is
give
take-
you, so that's 1, 2, 3. They're going to not go Nemric. They're going to use 2 more. They're going to need 2 level 2 spell slots, and they're going to real quick do that, as well as both of you. Please regain another 5.
I'm at my maximum.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Master Nocia.
You're very welcome.
Then let's see if we can talk with our, well, those who are in charge here.
Before we do so, since this is a point of contention, I feel like we need to address what seems to be a thorn in Aviana's side.
Sorry.
The other thorn in Aviana's side.
Oh, you mean saying the weird stuff?
It's not weird if it's true.
I mean, yeah, like, I agree with you, but it's still weird.
We had mentioned before that because of what we had seen, well, what Wrench had seen, it is something that could still be somewhat understandable, but it depends on what you would like to do.
Well, I'm asking the group, I'm not asking Aviana.
Oh.
I am on the side of it doesn't seem to be hurting us at the moment, as long as we keep caution.
Miriam?
You're paranoid and depressed. But I don't think that if you were crazy, you'd be any less paranoid or depressed. Or
Flux?
if you were sane, be more paranoid or depressed.
Tag? Lexi?
These things can be very difficult to know how to proceed with. Some of the madnesses I suffered from were quite detrimental and insidious, while others were almost beneficial. For the time being, it doesn't seem like it's causing any immediate harm, other than on your mental well-being, which is a concern in its own right, but...
I think we should all be as clear-headed as we possibly can while in this this place. So I think you should. I think it should be cured. As even if it is not detrimental to your health right now, things could change.
Fenris, do you feel like yourself?
Yes. I've seen many terrible things in my time, Lexi. While this entire environment is depressing, I feel like myself.
Retia doesn't have similar stories to tell.
There are a lot of things I've seen that I wish not upon my worst enemy. But I've persevered so far. And the hope of getting back to the people we have outside of here, I can't deny that keeps me going every day.
I have a really good way of checking for madness.
Lexi's gonna take Fenris's hand and nod. But go on, Mary.
I mean, if you don't mind.
I'm curious to see it.
Anything to silence the contention and speculation upon my every input.
He keeps dying.
Miriam's gonna walk up to Fenris. He's gonna look them in the eyes and hold out his hand.
Oh, she'll fucking take it.
All right, he takes it. He turns to the rest of the group and just smiles.
She's crazy! She took his hand!
Huh?
Get her!
What?
I am so confused.
What? What does that mean?
Oh, I have no idea. I just wanted to hold hands.
I see.
She...
Man, Miriam, you really know how to waste fucking time, don't you?
You have no idea.
I may have put my eggs into the wrong basket.
I start walking outside at this point.
She'll take both of Miriam's hands and like place it against her temple for a moment before smiling. Your lightheartedness in all of this is appreciated, although I had hopes you might actually have... Well, another point I wish to make is I could check, but I can't anymore now because of the magic I've used already today. So that would be something to review if this turns into a point of conflict again.
Wait, have we not rested?
No, you did.
Did you not use the spell on yourself?
They did.
Yes.
It only cures
It only gets rid of one effect.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yes, and I also
okay.
used both of my 5th and my 6th, and the thing... Well, no, I actually can... You would take a 4th level spell slot. It would take time, though, and resources I don't currently have.
Well, we'll be traveling for a bit. It's not like it has to be right now.
Then we'll search for it. I just wanted to address this before moving forward.
Your hair is really soft.
Thank you.
Oh, you put my hands here. I figured I'd comment on it.
She'll remove Miriam's hand from her head and kind of give it a squeeze before letting go. And with that addressed, there you go. And she'll turn to Aviana. Is there anything more you wish to say upon this?
No, just I appreciate that you no longer trust me.
When someone's constantly undermining your progress within the group, you might question their morals, their interests.
I told you exactly why I wanted you to be okay, Fenris. I was very clear with you.
And yet, when everyone continued to decide that this was something we could move forward with, you continued to verbally pick at me. I'm not blind. I can see when you say things that are meant to be harsh.
Never once said you were blind.
And in a place like this, that is quite exhausting. I'm sure you can tell. I figured I'd address this before my patience ran out, Aviana. I don't wish this to continue. I have no issue with you.
Yeah, a little bit on right now, I think.
I wish you think that's cute. I'm just coming from a... I'm just coming from a place where I want to get you back to Tantia in the best health possible, because I made a promise that I would do so. So I'm just trying to keep up my end of a bargain.
And I'm trying to get out of here. For us all to get out of here in one place, in one piece.
I would very much like for all of us to get out of here in one piece. I want nothing more than to get back to the people that we care about.
Then let's focus on that agreement, please.
Fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are being kind of aggressive, but it seems like we all kind of want the same thing.
Not me. I want to hit the young lord with a meteor.
That's also a really good plan.
I'm not afraid of dying here, and I'm willing to do so to get you all out of here. So excuse me for wanting the best for you.
But this is not just about us. You are here as well. There is no point in continuing this argument. I have made my point. Do with that as you wish.
It would be preferable for none of us to die while we're here, Abby.
I fit in a
except
little.
maybe the hunters. You know.
Well, yeah, well, like the bad guys. I mean, like us.
Yeah, fuck the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them.
No, fuck them.
Let's save some energy for talking with those who are in charge here. Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
That sounds good.
I
Yes.
believe I will stay here with the stars. If that's fine. I believe I have a lot more to talk about with them about their forces and what they can offer us in terms of military might.
I think that's a perfect, excellent use of your talents.
Mm-hmm. Shall we?
I guess so.
You guys somewhat morosely walk out back down the hallway and back towards the main area. Artorias, Nocia, and Enchig stay within that room as after you guys are out. Without looking at them, Enchig just like leans over towards Artorias and just very quietly, "That was tense."
Miriam's head reappears in the doorway. Hey, Nocia. What's up?
Roll. That caught me off guard. Roll me a charisma check.
Yeah!
Get her!
Use my nickname, boy.
Get it.
Not much.
Cool. Alright, bye.
Okay, good luck.
And she leans over again. That was weird.
What was that roll?
I don't know, just to see how charmingly you did that, basically, is what that was.
My goodness.
I would like to try.
Yeah, what do you say, Wrench? What do you say?
What do you say?
What's your pickup line, Wrenchapoo?
What a D&D moment. Wait, are we hitting on people? Are we hitting on people? Can I hit on people?
Yes, you can! Be free!
Red just pops
My
his...
line is,
Red...
aren't I just fucking adorable?
Roll me. You know, normally I'd be like, guys, but you know what? It's you. Go ahead, roll a charisma.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Watch this Nat 20.
Even better.
Nat 3. I walk away. No, save me.
No, finish it! Tell him what happened! You coward!
Finish him!
You've been burned by the flames!
Like
Let Logan do it.
Your allies are odd. I like them. You can just hear that as you leave. As you guys... Alejandro!
Yes.
Just the interaction of what was that? That was them trying to be charming. I want to do it. It's just the best thing that has happened on Nat19 in terms of
You're
D&D
so
gremlin.
cute.
It's adorable.
Oh, that was great. That lifted my
I swear to
spirit.
be cool like Miriam.
I learned it from you, Dad.
It did not work out just like it did not work out for Miriam.
No, yeah. Question.
You guys walk out to the main area, and you see the large gate that blocked the way further into the temple is currently open. Ion is standing in front of it, seemingly waiting patiently. When you walk over, they look over towards you.
You've been permitted access into the central chambers. I should warn you. There may be a certain change in tone from here on. This place, it requires a certain mentality. I'm not trying to oversell this. You're not about to see death or dismay. However, this place requires people to do things that would generally be outside their nature as you proceed into here. Especially since among you there are those who bear holy providence. I would ask you keep an open mind. Know that we wish earnestly to speak with you. And we genuinely wish to do good. I have your assurance you won't overreact to anything you see.
May I roll an insight check?
You may.
What an introduction.
12.
They seem to be being very candid. There's a very small hint into their voice of fear that you will overreact, but they also seem to be speaking with a great deal of trust.
Mm-hmm. I will put my hand over my chest in like a fist, slightly bow my head. I promise not to overreact.
I made a deal with an ancient smoke man who murdered me as a baby, and yet nothing here's going to surprise me.
My own circumstances are, it would be hypocritical of me to overreact.
Servant of a leader of hell, let's go.
We suck. Oh my
god. For the purpose of being candid then, we have introduced this place to you as the Temple of the Gentle Nest, and that is what we refer to this outer area as. However, everything from here on, we refer to ourselves more specifically as the Unfettered. Vigami and Shiga they have a vision, one that could make this place more tolerable for those who are oppressed by the table. I ask you hear out their vision, because your immediate reaction may not be entirely favorable.
Let them speak everything they need and save our reactions for later, hopefully.
Sometimes in order to do good, you have to do it on your own terms, so...
They turn.
I'm willing.
You see behind them, the tunnel that extends out, extends at least a couple hundred feet, as best you can tell. It is also lined with the same sort of candles. As you move through, the sides of the chamber become about a 20-foot wide stone pathway, on either side of which there is about 10 feet on each side of water, moving, flowing quite rapidly. The depth of it you couldn't say, and all sorts of candle holders have been nailed into the stone walls, and that are all holding the same sorts of candles of different states of use, some of them more burnt out than others. There's a couple of twists and turns as you move. You come through a couple of other chambers that are similar to the one that you entered into, but are not quite as well lit. The candles thin in numbers as you move through. There's a couple moments, Wrench, where your helmet flickers, just briefly. Just tries to come to life, and then as you get near the next set of candles, it goes out again. As you move, you eventually come to a bridge over a large reservoir of water, a very small one. Or a very small bridge over a large reservoir that moves between two chambers. You move across it, and you see that you enter into a very large open chamber where water pools in from the outside. It pools in from various sources. You can tell that you've gradually gone downward as you've done this, putting you quite far under the city. As you enter, there's a massive central pool of water with a walkway that extends straight through the center of it. In the middle, you see a platform that slopes down into the water, kind of like the edge of a pool might. And you see all kinds of candles lining the area again. Ion walks you to the center of that platform, upon which you see there's various, what looks to be arcane symbols that have been traced in silver and with silver and gold materials, very finely done. Into the ground, giving this central platform you're on this rather elegant, beautiful, circular pattern, very artistic pattern. That seems to be some kind of writing. You can tell it to be. You've seen primordial language before. You can tell that it is some kind of primordial thing. A lot of the writing has characters that seem to have this calligraphic, almost wave-like pattern to them, as if the writing that has been made in what looks like effectively painted in gold metal that has been left to dry. It has this smooth, sweeping motion to it that gives this impression of a current even within the writing, as if it flows naturally like water. As you step into the center, Ion moves towards what looks to be a small apparatus that they put their hand on near the water, and they press a button down, and you hear just this almost church bell-like sound suppressed by the sound of water around you, as a sound reverberates out and causes a brief ripple to cast across the pool of water, this reservoir. As it does, a moment passes, and then there is another sound that emanates without Ion doing anything, another similar one of a slightly different tone, as the water ripples again, but this time the ripple comes from the outsides of the reservoir in towards the center. Ion turns to you.
Vigami will be with you momentarily. Again, I appreciate in advance your tolerance.
To which she moves, walks past the group, and seems to start seeing herself out.
Maybe we'll catch her sleeve if we can.
You do so.
We'll lean in and just quietly. You might want to up security for at least the foreseeable future.
Aye? And why would that be?
I don't know what your relationship with them is, but Mother Tier was very, very close to the waterways and was curious as to what we were doing near them. And while I would like to assume the most positive intent from people, it's hard to do that in Honokuni. They mentioned that tragedy can fall at any time, and I couldn't help but feel like it might be a warning.
She nods, understanding. Not aggressively, but she shifts herself away from your grip.
Yeah, he lets go as soon as he has her.
And she sees herself out and across the bridge you all entered from. There's a moment of silence, and then you see various torches lining the edges of this very large chamber begin to ignite, casting greater light inside. Though the candles ring the inside of the area you're in, and cast this multicolored light on it, you see various torches flashing to life, granting this ring of light surrounding it. You see the top of the chamber, arcane symbols on it that represent some kind of seal, some sort of, you recognize to be similar to a glyph of warding on the ceiling above you, lights up and starts producing this pale red glow that softly lights the area from above. And you start to see movement within the water. You see a figure moving rather nimbly through it, humanoid in shape and size, approaching the edge of where one of the ramps down into the reservoir is, and slowly you see them find their footing inside the water and start moving up. Underwater, you can tell that they're wearing some kind of mantle. They have a cape that flows rather clumsily within the water. They're carrying some kind of steel-looking staff that looks rather ornate. A faint red glow seems to come from their right side, but it's hard to place what it is. As they step out, and they begin to emerge, walking up the ramp out of the reservoir, you see emerging from the water with none of the moisture sticking to their skin, none of it seemingly adhering to them, as if it willfully glides off of them and their clothes. A figure wearing, and a rather androgynous-looking figure, standing a little bit shorter than the average people in the group, about maybe 5.5, 5 3/4 feet tall, begins to walk out. Again, carrying a staff, a blue ribbon tucked through their belt winds up their left arm and seems to wrap around the staff they're carrying and floats just around it as if magically enchanted to do so. As they walk up, you see they have bluish skin that seems to have red markings either painted or tattooed on that look not dissimilar to those of a Kitsadria, but are far more numerous. As they walk out, you notice as their mantle flutters to the side somewhat, their right arm does not appear to be solid. In place of their right arm specifically, they seem to have a false arm that is made entirely of solidified water in the shape of an arm that has this thick red light that glows within it as if following the bone structure of it, that seems to pulse slightly. With what you would assume to be could be their heartbeat, it seems to very lightly pulse and throb this light inside their arm. I'm going to share a picture of this individual.
Whoa.
Wordlessly, they step out. Even though the path they walk up is drenched in water, they seem to find friction and not have any trouble moving up it until finally they walk up and stand on the same platform as all of you. They stand about 15 feet away from all of you. They raise up their staff, not to the air, but they raise it briefly, They touch it down to the ground, and the sound of the metal tip of their staff touching the stone ground underneath you causes this momentary reverberation that echoes through the room, pointedly putting on display how quiet their entrance had been. They look to each of you. My name is Vigami. I don't see many people like you.
Can you not see us all as the hunted?
I suspect that you're not.
And what a fucking idiot. I can't believe he just told him that.
There's more of us here than there are hunted, like, anywhere. Anyway.
French, they might have really good hearing, so you should but
Tag will step forward.
Yeah, Fenris will step. The moment Tag moves, Fenris is stepping forward.
You do understand how rough it is to give away that information, correct?
Of course. But this place makes it necessary to find allies where you can. After all, I would not normally ally myself. And they put up their hand, and they, with their watery hand, as it moves, you hear the sloshing of water, although it seems to maintain its form completely. They put their hands out, and they reference Fenris, and they reference Tag. I would not normally align myself with those like you, but I find I must.
Do you have problems with people of the cloth?
Seeing as that I'm a vampire, I would assume that you're the ones that would have a problem with me.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, a what?
Tag is fucking stone-faced. Just like, I deal with the shit all the time. It's fine.
They don't know that. He's surprised.
You can't have this person show up and just say they are a vampire. What do you think
Yo,
you're doing?
right?
Oh my god.
I tell you this as a matter of trust.
And we appreciate that.
Tag will
She'll
have a smile.
Shoot a look at Miriam.
Yeah, this guy serves a vampire, so it's fine.
It's true.
Good to hear. For the record, my sister Shiga is also, like me, born of the water, born a Ganassi. But we became...
but not a vampire?
But we became more. And I understand that you wish to make this place better, and not succumb to the whims of the table. So we have similar goals. My sister will be maintaining their absence. I speak for us regardless.
Precaution, I assume?
Indeed.
I understand.
And, perhaps, if others don't feel comfortable, allow me and Tad to represent the hunted.
I have no compunctions.
Oh, all right.
We have... While it's valuable information, it's also information our enemies mostly already know.
I have been told that you managed to defeat 2 members of the table already, but that neither of them was Tribulation.
No.
Unfortunately.
We fought him once.
Unfortunately, one of our non-hunted members got the finishing blow on him.
Pity.
We didn't understand the rules of the game yet.
Do you have a specific issue with Tribulation?
Yes. Before Tribulation was who they are, they're the reason my sister and I are here. Back when they were a upright do-gooder who believed themselves to be the agents of their god, they hunted my sister and I, and it is in their darkest moments, when they were pulled into this terrible place, when they happened to be closest to killing us, and purely due to our proximity to them, we were dragged in here with them.
That is a complication for sure.
Yes. We cursed Duskull for this, but he's lost himself entirely.
Are you from Somnus Domina?
Tribulation's real name?
Yes. He was once a Goliath paladin. Before... You see a small smile twist on their lips. Before, certain individuals twisted them and led them down a path that did not suit their former ideals. And when they finally lost themselves entirely here and ceased being immortal, becoming the yokai that you know, they took on the name Tribulation.
Encountered an artifact of Duskal's in the Underdark and Somnus Domina.
That sword.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, that sword.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean they became a yokai?
Mortals can become yokai. If granted that power by particularly powerful other yokai, or if many yokai of a lesser stature give their lives to do so, they can create one. It was Duskal's wish once he won to make himself of use here, and the influence of the young lord allowed him to become one. On the outside, I believe he would have ended up becoming a Hanyo, but the nature of this plane made it so that his transformation into what he is could be more complete. But I digress. I had only wished to know if you did that because it would have brought me some manner of joy to know that he'd been made to suffer.
He will have to suffer before this is done and over with, will he? Won't he?
So rare that I agree with one of your kind.
Damn. In a place like this, things such as a person's status don't matter as much.
Allow me to cut to the chase, I suppose. What do you believe the greatest detriment to the lives of those in Honokuni is?
The young lord?
In an abstract sense, I suppose.
The Zugaiken?
I believe it is the endless cycle of death and rebirth that traps their souls here. The people here are twisted. Those who are sane are lucky, but it is rare that a soul escapes. And those who do get to live have to live under the thumb of the table. You all wish to win, and I presume if you did, you'd leave, right?
Yes, I have things to tend to.
We have business on the outside.
Are there any of you who would see the goal of liberating the people of Honokuni from their fate as more important than your missions outside? Because I believe with the sacrifice of just one hunted, the people of Honokuni could be empowered.
How so?
Initially, when I came here, I came to enjoy the seemingly endless night. During the hunt, there is never a sun in the sky. People like me rather enjoy that. But the hunt ended. Though there's no sun, the day comes, we have to hide. Feeding here is difficult. I'm sure you can imagine. We can draw blood from others, but we cannot store it, and it does not nourish us as well as it could, on account of the fact that most blood, that which falls from our lips, that which we do not consume in haste, simply vanishes. We got to thinking, if we enjoy the endless night, perhaps the people of Honokuni could be empowered by it as well. They begin pacing around, not with any ill intent. You don't pick up any aggressive tone, but they start pacing, clacking their staff upon the ground as they start to circle the group. I'm sure it does not surprise you, but the idea of converting those within Honokuni, which has a relatively small population, into our thralls crossed our mind. However, that wouldn't necessarily solve our problem. They would still have to live in fear. We could liberate them from the endless cycle of rebirth by granting them effective immortality, but then they would have to fear the sun, the daylight. So we got to thinking, well, the hunted are here. The night never ends. When all of you die, day arrives. So what if one of you could never die? What if a hunted was rendered undead? What if one of you became a vampire? Would the night remain endlessly? And if so, could Honokuni become a paradise for people like us? The concept is likely foreign to you. You're probably thinking to yourself of what evil that represents, but I invite you to take a moment to consider the alternatives.
My thought immediately goes to if something like that would work. I mean, once we win, the day comes when the hunt is over, correct? That would still mean that even though they're not dead, they would still win, would they not?
I am uncertain about the exact mechanics of the hunt. We've never gotten to attempt this before. But if one of you was turned undead, if you were killed and brought back as a vampire before your body could disappear, which I am a capable mage, I could probably make possible. If you could be revived as a vampire before you lose your status as a hunted, maybe you would retain it. We've noticed that one of our kind, with one exception, has never been made or brought in here as a hunted. And that exception is somebody who did cling to life. You've dealt with them already. Their state of undeath is different than ours.
Bravissimo?
Indeed. Plus, if we invited all of those in Honokuni into our ranks, if we turned the Zugaiken, they could no longer be revived as Zugaiken. We could turn all the forces of the young lord against them, leave them in a state where they either have to wipe out everybody and fight an endless war against the night, or surrender and live in the new paradise this would become.
I don't think we'll be considering your offer.
There might be another option, though. And this is a long shot. When we spoke to the young lord, during the indoctrination of everything, we were told we could request something. What if we requested a certain amount of time in Honokuni to stay as knight?
I think they're looking for a more permanent solution.
I know. I'm just trying to...
Is there any among you who would be willing to wish, assuming the young lord has that power, is there any among you who would be willing to make the wish for Honokuni to bathe in unending night?
I suppose it depends how truly beneficial it would be. There are many other options here. There are always more than one option.
We have gone against our nature to do some good. People like Ion believe in us. We occasionally, in the shadows, help to protect people against the Zugaiken where we can. We offer them a gentle place of rest. And when some of them become so sick that their death is inevitable, we present them with a choice. That they may die, or they may live eternally. You've already encountered and been helped by several of those who have joined our flock. Would you not say the nest is more pleasant than the rest of Honokuni?
You have been doing good. Anyone can see that.
This is a lot to think about.
You're definitely giving us something to consider.
I don't think there's anything to consider. I don't think any of us would want to become a vampire.
Oh, not that. Just opening up ideas of different options.
I mean, those among us are not the only hunted as well.
That is true.
The last hunted would be unlikely to accept such an offer.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Keen likes things as they are.
I understand in the outside. To ask you to accept this offer would be ludicrous. Of course it would. That is why my kind is more predatory by design. But here, we are a wonderful alternative to the status quo. We are the natural poison to the disease. A poison to the poison that is the immortality of the table. We can do good, while satiating the primal needs that we have. And all it would take is one of you.
And what happens when all of Honokunis receive judgment? Whether to live eternally or die? I don't know if Honokuni will continue to pull people in to feed us food supply.
perhaps not. But
you see a look on their face that is slightly more twisted, a glint, a red glint in their eye.
We would not necessarily offer this to everyone. Some would have to be capable of death and reincarnation. After all, we would need some people to hunt eternally and feed upon. I won't try to lie about that.
So you wish to replace one cycle with another?
Fewer would suffer. And if the hunt is never to end, then perhaps no more would be drawn in.
It is a wonderful thing to consider. Thank you for trusting us with that information. It is terrible what they've made us do here.
Indeed. Of course, there is one other solution. There is one way to ensure the peace of this place. But it is nigh impossible, if we were, to ever get our hands on the young lord and turn them. Well, then we could do just about whatever we want to make this place better, couldn't we? I welcome you to consider that option as well, if you feel particularly bold. Surely you would agree they deserve it.
Getting close to the young lord. Sorry, that's my knee.
That's
my bad knee.
That's okay.
I'm just so afraid.
Your armor, it's just it's damp. It's damp in here. It's causing rust.
Yeah, sorry.
It's fine.
Anyway, taking on the young lord seems a nigh impossible task. What with his the blade at his side at all times. Getting close to him in order to do something like that seems more improbable than your other plan.
It is your choice. Of course, you seem to have spoken for everyone. Others among you are hunted. Let me hear from your lips what you feel.
Bro, I'm already an raccoon. People confuse me for raccoons and squirrels. I'm good. I don't need to be a vampire.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've had trouble in my life, but I'm good. It's for the author, though.
I notice you and I are more similar than...
They raise up their right arm, made of water, and like grip their watery hand.
We already seem to have more in common than you think.
Wrench looks at his arm. Yeah, but I still gotta get revenge out there, so, you know.
I could restore feeling to yours. This feels real.
I don't want it to feel.
And did you know? As a strange quirk of fate. Though most people within Honokuni cannot taste, our kind has not been deprived of the pleasure of the taste and warmth of blood.
I have a benefactor who has a long history of dealing with your kind. I don't exactly understand everything about him, but if he thought such a thing would be beneficial for me, he would have put that forward himself.
So be it. Take some time to think. I have nothing but time. I entered here several cycles ago with tribulation, along with my sister, and I have waited patiently while we constructed this plan and this place. There will be more hunted. Maybe in the next cycle, somebody will see the light. Or maybe, in your darkest moments, if you find yourself reduced down to one or two of you remaining, you will see the appeal. Just know that we're here. The unfettered do not care for this cycle. We can rise above it.
See him look to Flux. See them look to Flux.
I'm not familiar with your kind.
Point.
I wonder, what the sap of your life tastes like.
I'm gonna just kind of step in front of Flux, worried that he's gonna lunge at him.
Don't worry, I can behave myself. I merely wonder, is there any assistance that you might seek us for?
Yes, actually. We are looking to have your services once again for gaining some aid in potentially getting regions and other things, if possible.
Supplies are
we
rather
have money.
limited. We don't care about money. Ion can help you with that. I am only concerned with the nature of the Unfettered's plans. We could be of use to you, and I believe we have knowledge regarding the table that others may not. But of course, that is limited to those who would be willing to aid us.
Information has a price. What's your price?
I think they've already named it.
It's true.
We will keep your offer in mind. Thank you for speaking with us.
And thank you for your hospitality.
They lock eyes with you, Miriam, for just a moment.
I sense understanding from you, but there are reservations. Whatever they may be, I appreciate that you have the eyes of one who at least considers what must be done. Perhaps you'll be the one to come to us in the end.
You might be right about that.
And I will continue my work. If you ever wish to seek audience with me again, please do. Tell Ion. They will arrange it. They turn. And they begin walking back out towards the waters.
These waters flow under all of Bochi, and we are ever present within them.
It is an apt metaphor for the place we wish to take. They begin slowly moving back into the water. As they do, you notice they don't disturb it. No water seems to move around them. They just cleanly move and dip down below the surface, assuming nobody tries to grab their attention.
No.
As they're walking away, Avi's just giving Miriam like a very pointed, like, don't you dare kind of look in regards to what he and Vigami were talking about.
As they fully disappear below the water and you see their form drifting down, the ring of torches and the red light from above snuff out. The torches go out rapidly in a circle around the outside of the room, and then the light from the top ceases and slowly fades, leaving only the candles to illuminate the area.
Let us make our way away.
Yes. I agree. Dag is
Fenris
like the
will
first one
kinda-
out of there.
Fenris will look at Lexi before reaching out her hand to offer a hand for Lexi to take.
Takes it.
Once outside, Tagger just turned to the rest of us and the rest of them. None of us are considering that offer, right?
Better not be.
Good.
No.
Sweet, tasty blood.
Nemric.
You see...
If I...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If I was a hunted, maybe.
Even then, I would not allow you. I've already watched someone I care about turn into a vampire. I'm
I
not
would
allowed
fit
to-
right in. Can't deny that.
Nah. I don't think so.
Well, you're allowed to be wrong.
You think I'd make a cool vampire?
Yeah,
I think you'd make an interesting...
Be a
I don't even know what
terrifying
that would
vampire.
look like.
No, they don't.
Oh.
I think you'd make
Look
an
the
interesting
same, just that
vampire.
with bigger teeth.
Whoa. I mean, that might be pretty cool. But no,
Would you imagine
we should...
a little? Would you imagine a little vampire was swinging around on a grappling hook? That'd be terrifying.
Just climbing all over you and then biting you.
Yeah.
Awful.
If I became a
Just the worst.
vampire, could I still become a fox?
You might lose that.
Well, I wasn't considering it before, but now it's definitely not happening.
Let's get what we can from here and collect the others and go.
As you head out of the main chamber. Illuminated by a distant source of candlelight from one of the chambers, you see backlit the silhouette of Ion. Standing, waiting patiently, hands folded over each other at their front.
I'm pleased to see that there was no immediate altercations. I had worried.
Well, we would make terrible guests if that were to be the case.
What thought have you given to what Lord Vigami has said?
We have much to think about. We haven't gathered all of our thoughts together at the moment.
That is fair.
No need for concern, though.
If it helps to adjust your perspective. I myself have not been turned, but I respect and approve of their plan. Escape from this place seems impossible. There are many of us who prefer the dream that our lords have to what the status quo is. To watching your kind come and go, fight, stay, die, leave. We remain. The idea of the endless night that they promised and a place within it. It is a better alternative.
I wouldn't give up hope yet. Leave the stars with us. We will do everything we can to set you free.
I have a request. We had told the stars that we would like to meet with them. That we would like them to meet Lord Vigami and Shiga. However, upon inspecting them, and coming to understand who they are and their alignments, I no longer believe that that is the best course of action. I believe that, as fellow residents, they would take issue with what we are doing. I would like you to speak of Lord Vigami as if they had been ill, as if they are not capable of speaking. I would like the stars to, though they are welcome here, speak with my lords another day, as I believe both sides, the Unfettered and the Stars of Ilium, I believe they are both necessary, and I would hate to see a conflict between the two sides currently wipe out two forces for good.
I understand. We will speak to them.
Appreciate it.
Is there anything? They begin showing you guys out.
Is there anything, any services I can offer you? We don't have much in the way of potions or anything after last time. We gave you what we could. But if you need any services such as the preparation of materials like last time, I can provide that. If you need a place to continue resting before you head out, I can provide that as well.
Looks to Fenris.
If you could grind down 2 more diamonds, that would be sufficient. Or should we just go with 1 and return when we've gone through the 3?
I actually found a 3rd diamond in my bag. I was mistaken.
Oh, those pockets in the bags.
Indeed, lost them here so easily. 2 of them are worth 500 and the
What?
Was he muffled for anybody
you
else?
got a little bit
Going
more
once.
in there, boy.
2 that are worth 500 gold pieces.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
sorry, my internet's been.
Why don't?
Yep, yeah, we know. For the record, each of the 500 ones, they could be ground down into 5 instances of greater restoration worth dust. However, then you don't have 500 gold diamonds, which are useful.
Yep.
What are the 500 ones used for usually?
Just raised dead.
Ooh.
We don't need for. Remind me if I'm mistaken. For Raised Dead, we only need a collection of diamonds worth 500, right? We don't need a singular diamond worth 500.
I don't believe it needs to be single. No, yeah, it can be any amount.
Okay.
Raised Dead, a diamond worth at least 500 GP.
I vote we burn one of the 500 ones, because then we get 5 charges and then one of the 3.
Sure. Yeah.
For a total of 8 charges.
Yeah, what do you think, Flux?
That
I bred him talking to Flux. What do you think?
I love you.
I think that sounds like a sound plan. That would give us plenty of charges.
Perfect. All right. I'll take.
Did you just look to the sky and talk to someone we couldn't hear?
Oh, it's godly stuff. You'll get it one day.
Oh no, he's crazy.
He'll understand.
We'll get. Oops, excuse me. I'll get one of the. Excuse me, Flex. Okay.
If that's what you guys want to do,
yeah,
I will just go in your inventories. I'll just adjust it quickly. As you guys are escorted out, you are escorted back out to the main area. Having left, as you do, the candles become more numerous again. You get to the gates. They raise up slowly. You guys step out, and then the thick gates that bar the internal areas, the nest of the unfettered, once again close. As it does, a chill runs up your individual spines as you think about the intentions of the being that is living with underneath and serving as the greatest good within Bochi. Right?
That's terrible.
As you step out, you see several of the members wearing the robes of the temple outside. You see their painted faces, now with the realization that the paint is likely to hide the changes to their skin caused by being turned into thralls. As they all look at you, you see a red glint in their eyes, as they all seem to hold in silence, as 3 or 4 of these temple members all look to you, as if looking for conflict. When they find none, they immediately resume their duties. Some go about continuing to replenish the candles. And with that, given where we are, and given the junction we're at, although it's not the most climactic ending, we're about to hit 4 hours. So I think I'd like to...
Time fucking flew by.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, shit.
I think I'd like to stop for today.
Goodbye, YouTube.
Oh. Goodbye, YouTube. This was a fun game.
Y'all are loved and appreciated.
Bye!